Hello. Today I'm going to discuss some basic principles around Luciferian magic, initiation, and how to get through and really understand and utilize basic concepts. The first element, we'll use some examples as the Watchers from the Necrominion, ancient Egypt, to Greco-Roman deific mask, to Mesopotamian, and all of these will encircle with the Hebrew Kabbalah, with the Book of Enoch, and early Judeo-Christian demonology, demonology of the Dead Sea Scrolls. All of these play a key role in the concept and the power, the deific power of Lucifer. Understand, as a Luciferian, the adversary is an all-encompassing symbol, easily visualized and understood in almost every aspect in nature. It's the motivator, the challenger, the one who brings destruction, but the one who also initiates creation, the one who uses natural law of the strong ruling the weak, the clever ruling the strong, who encompasses in the solar aspect justice, temporary willed order, structure, culture, art, learning. All of these things are adversarial and within the visualization of the Luciferian spirit. If we just take the legend, the myth of the Watchers, or the Grigori, the ones who descended to Mount Hermon 200, each one holding as a fiery seraphim or cherub, an angel representing a specific orderly structure in the cosmos. These Watchers saw the opportunity and introduced their seed, their light, their fire, their black flame into this world via the women, according to the myth, the Nephilim, the giants, the legend of mighty men of old. If you look at the word Rephaim, which is connected to the Nephilim, the Nephilim are mirrored in the Greco-Roman legends, myths of the giants, the Titans. These often, as deified warriors, were people who accomplished something among their people, who overcame certain odds, who were victors in wars, battles. They contributed, they overcame some type of obstacle and achieved a type of greatness, and thus, in their minds, immortality, often deified. Now, with that said, the Nephilim, to a Luciferian, as a myth, as a symbol of strength, in that you're joining spiritual acknowledgement of who you are, that there is something more than just here and now in the flesh. Your energy that you create with your thoughts, your experiences, your insight, all of these things matter to create and achieve something akin to what we call Nephilim. Thus, to a Luciferian, the Nephilim are not, when you're talking about the Black Adept, the practitioner, is not a giant in the sense of 7 feet tall or anything like that, but someone who, by character, by example, by what they've accomplished, are achieving something among their people, among their culture, their community, whatever that is. That is what makes a Nephilim a Luciferian. It's that union of spirit and earth, balance between the carnal, the rational, the here and now, but the spiritual in the sense of transforming the self through knowledge, gaining insight, breaking restrictive dogmatic bonds that you have, and using that to transform yourself, evolving, becoming. Yeah, sometimes the easiest way to separate, if you would even do that, Satanism and Luciferianism. And keep in mind, my initiation came in its early origins from traditional Satanism. When I was very, very young, teenager, the carnal, the here and now, the indulgence of life itself, it's a life-loving belief structure, which the cornerstone is believe in yourself, overcome your obstacles, indulge, but don't overindulge. That's Satanism. Luciferianism is very much akin to this, but where does it separate? There is a focus of the mind, call it spirituality, towards evolving. You want to become something better, different, stronger, not some kind of crazy pipe dream that you can't accomplish, but what you see yourself as your potential and self-excellence in life. So it's a balance between enjoy the here and now with plans for tomorrow, short-term future, long-term future. Now let's discuss some key aspects of basic practice in Magick and what that represents. Concerning basic practices of invocation within Luciferianism, I'm going to give some examples of how this process can be really worked and how you can find your own sense of harmony and balance with your type of approach to invocation and ritual magic. Now, invocation is a process, an art of encircling specific type of power or energy and raising it through, or the feeling of raising it through your body, through yourself, much in the way that if you do Armenian yoga, raising the fire serpent up. That is the same type of process. Now, invocation works when you have a goal, something you wish to achieve. Now, if you're new to Luciferianism in terms of practice, well, that would indicate that first, upon, of course, applying the philosophy and the trials and tribulations that go with that, because it's an act of magic itself, it's reshaping your consciousness, it's defining your course in initiation towards apotheosis. So invocation in the early stages is self-initiation, it's self-affirmation, and it's your spiritual, your rational reach out, your command of seizing that personal sacred thing called communion with what people call a higher power or lower power. But what my works have explored successfully for over 20 years is that you don't submit, supplicate, worship Lucifer, the adversary, a god, a goddess. You bow to nothing. Your invocation process, your self-initiation, is reaching in and opening the gates to your Daemon, what's commonly understood as the true will, yourself in perpetual self-excellence, your personal god or goddess. That process, although very simple in the straight line that Luciferianism guides you, that you set upon, there's so many distractions that can happen, tests along the way, and if you're not determined in your belief, completely believing, investing belief in what you're doing, in the process you've committed to personally, then one day you'll say, I'm not having some amazing mystical experience. I think this is bullshit. I'm going to move on to something else. That is the clear adversarial test that so many fail because, and I wish I had had someone to offer this piece of advice to me when my initiation began in the early 1990s, and all of the trials and mistakes and things that I gained, I could have essentially got it faster, is my instinct was telling me that whether I connected with what I considered a spiritual unity, if you will, a conversation with what I call Lucifer, the adversary, in different masks, different representations, depending on what I was focusing on, found a voice through my will, desire, and belief early on in my internal adept work, and which required isolation and a lot of extreme physical tests, in which led to Luciferianism as we see it now. That process broke the boundaries of what I thought I could do, and that I could essentially become, and cause the indwelling, the awakening, the illumination of my Daemon. When I invoke a deific mask, no matter if it's Belial, Semyaza, Azazel, Ezekiel, Sariel, Samsiel, Nergal, or even Lilith, Anat, Ashtaroth, Astarte, Hekate. In those moments of invocation and passionate visualization, by reciting the words of power, the names commanding, in those moments, there is no difference from the deific mask, the force I'm invoking, and my true will, myself, my Daemon. It's the same. And when you, I'm not going to get into the argument of, well, what if it's not the same and all that. Results are what matter. Validation is what matters, not armchair theory, practice and insight is what matters. If you don't get that, then Luciferianism, it might as well be something else, something useless. And I know this is not useless. In those moments of invocation, you must completely believe with a surety, like you know that you can go and open your front door. You can go get a glass of water. It's that same blasé confidence, like, of course, that's a reality. When you do that, that is what is called a basic form of theurgy. And that is compelling and shaping and guiding those energies and those powers within Earth and within ourselves to act according to your will. Now, how do you do this type of thing in a very basic way? And I'll tell you, in invocation, and I'm going to give a very brief example of something so simple, but is structured to affirm self-initiation, liberation, is a Luciferian invocation where you're actually invoking imagery representation of the fallen angel, the adversary, Lucifer, no matter what type of mask it's wearing or what you're attuned to. But you're also at the same time invoking your daemon. Now, you can do invocations in a full ceremonial ritual setting, in your temple altar, whatever, outside. You can also do it in any place without any tools whatsoever. And that happens because you command it so, you will it, and your imagination is strong enough in your experience and your confidence to do that. And nothing can stop you. You can do it as loud as you want or under your breath, as long as you vibrate within your being those words and visualize what you're uttering, the commands that you're uttering. And then you visualize you and that specific deific power, that energy connected with your daemon, your true will, to manifesting that. And then after the invocation, simply going and forgetting about that, doing something else, something probably pretty mundane. This has brought me a great deal of success, and I fluctuate between bottom line simplistic and the disciplined ceremonial aspect, something that I choose to do personally. So here's an example. When you recite the invocation, you make it as it is your will against nothing. So every word invests passion, belief. Let your imagination and trust your instincts. I invoke thee, God within myself, that I may seek my own redemption, that I may know the secrets of this world, that I raise myself to be wise through experience and test, so I shall become a bearer of light, a source of the black flame of knowledge. I offer only prayers to my potential and possible greatness, that the angel and daemon within me is strengthened. Who wishes oppression and supplication to his sheep. I have no need of a false and non-existent God. My God and Goddess dwell within. Lucifer, rise through me. That is a basic example of the type of things you can do in that type of initiatory setting. And you can do a number of these using as much ceremony as you wish or not. The key, as I mentioned before, is your investment of belief. What works do you utilize? Where do you begin? Take any one of my grimoires and select a ceremony, an invocation that you feel just instinctively drawn to, whether it's the deific mask, the demon, whatever that is, and what it's meaning to you. If you can do that, structure out the ritual, unless it dictates. Now, some of the reworked Mesopotamian ceremonies from old translations, old invocations, I've adapted those, but someone who has some experience can structure it according to what speaks to them. I don't expect all of these to do that, but it's a foundation, and it's a gateway to that adversarial current. And once you pick a ceremony, an invocation, take your magical diary and structure out. My aim is to seek self-initiation, to draw that closeness between myself and my daemon, my true will. And for, say, a month, every day, you're going to do this invocation. You don't need a circle, you can use all these things in ceremony if it empowers belief. But this is your personal spirituality. This is an instruction. And personal spirituality is private, and you don't have to explain it to anybody. And I advise early on, don't, unless you're around fellow Luciferian Satanists, magicians who understand what you're doing, and don't use it to piss off your family. It's just going to cause you a lot of annoyance unless you like that type of thing and you have fun with it. So that is a very basic gateway into the adversarial current. Pick your what pantheon speaks to you. Is it Egypt? Is it Mesopotamia, Babylon? Is it the Greco-Roman? Or is it the Judeo-Christian demonic, the satanic imagery, the demonization of the old gods in this strong and adversarial mask? Whatever it is, do it, and consistently do it for that period of time you've predetermined. And along the way, throw some hardships, some extreme walking, some type of physical exercise where you can still recite a basis, the structure of the invocation, doing just what I did and visualizing every aspect. During this extreme, stressful endurance process, that is a straight path, on the left-hand path, to your daemon, your true will. I hope this has been useful. Thank you.